Good morning, everybody. I'm Rolene Marks. This is a very different looking Israel brief as I come to you from my hotel room en route to the airport, where I conclude the western leg of my Just the Facts speaking tour on behalf of Canadian Hadassah Wheater, and jet off to the eastern leg, which will include Toronto, Ottawa, and Montreal before finally legging it back home to Israel. So it has been incredible. It also has been very, very busy. So basically what I've done is I landed in Toronto, I did Edmonton, Calgary, Victoria, which is just exquisite, Vancouver, and now we're going to head off very, very soon to Toronto. So I wanted to touch base with you guys because I miss you, and just to update you on some of the news stories that are happening in the headlines in Israel. Now, this week we haven't been doing questions and mentions and morons, but keep your mentions and morons, because next week when I'm back in Israel, we'll do a bumper edition. And believe me, I've already got a few candidates in mind. So let's look at some of the top stories that are making headlines, and we begin with the visit of U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio. He is in Israel at the moment. And of course, we are all pushing towards the end of the war and the release of our 48 hostages. Today marks day 710 since the 7th of October, since the start of the war. And we can't forget for a second how this war started. And the absolute priority has to be our 48 hostages. We want them released now, and Hamas, in the words of Marco Rubio, must cease to exist. So what is the latest? Well, the Secretary of State is in Israel. He is here to discuss the strike on Qatar that took place last week with Prime Minister Netanyahu, with the Foreign Minister, and meet a variety of officials. The Secretary landed in Israel yesterday. He went straight to the Wailing Wall, straight to the Kotel, and prayed there. And some of his comments, following meetings with Foreign Minister Saar and Prime Minister Netanyahu, is he said, right now we are focused on what happens next after Israel's strike on Qatar. The Qataris have said that Israel needs to be punished for this. From Israel's perspective, even though we haven't got definitive numbers or names of who was killed, we know that there were 5 funerals. Prime Minister Netanyahu says, well, the strike wasn't a failure because we have sent the message to Hamas that we can reach you anywhere, and also a warning to Qatar that if you do not do something about expelling the Hamas leaders, we will act. Now, the Qatari Prime Minister met with President Trump. They had dinner the other night, and President Trump says, Israel must just be careful because how it deals with great ally Qatar. Of course, there are many of you who know that Qatar has a profound influence in many of your countries, on the campuses, in Hollywood. We're going to get to Hollywood in a second. In the media, with this profoundly anti-Israel, anti-Semitic rhetoric. So at the moment, we see where we go as far as that is concerned. And then just moments ago, Prime Minister Netanyahu was speaking, and he actually said, quite worryingly, he said, we are entering a period of isolation as a state, and we are going to have to adapt our economy accordingly. Now, speaking of isolation, let's go now to the United Kingdom, where the a military defense academy has banned, this is a very prestigious academy, it has banned Israelis from applying in the next year. Now, this is profoundly concerning and worrying. Israelis have been attending this prestigious school for decades, and not only that, is that we still consider the UK our ally, and this is not how you treat allies, especially an ally that is fighting a war to return our hostages and against an entity that wants to see us destroyed. I think Winston Churchill must be spinning in his grave. Winston Churchill's famous words, an appeaser is that who feeds the crocodile, hoping it will eat him last. And this is a very, very worrying development. So we'll see if there's any kind of movement from here. But what we also know is that the Starmer government is in trouble in the United Kingdom. You only have to look at the streets of Britain over the weekend to see well over 100,000 Brits taking to the streets saying we want our country back, many feeling that the government is appeasing sectarian members of society, letting in too many migrants, and in order to appease them, they have basically made Israel the sacrificial lamb. So it's a worrying development and one we are going to watch. Let's go now to the Emmy Awards last night. And guys, I can't roll my eyes hard enough. Of course, we have all the geopolitical experts in the form of celebrities like Javier Bardem wearing his keffiyeh, walking around on the red carpet saying Free Palestine, and he's going to support the boycott of Israeli filmmakers. Javier, let's just correct that for you. You're a rank anti-Semite and we won't be supporting you. And thank you for showing us who you are, because we won't be watching any of your movies, you absolute unit. And Hannah Einbinder, who ironically is the star of a show called Hacks, who went on stage and said, as a Jew, I can't watch genocide happen. And, Judaism is a noble institution, which is her first mistake, because we are not an institution. We are many things, a religion, an ethnicity, a people, but we're not an institution, you absolute moron. So I'm a little feisty this morning. I really can't bear hypocrisy, because where were all these stars when our women were raped, when there was mass murder on our border, when over 250 were taken hostage, including babies, 2 of those babies murdered in captivity, and we still have 48 hostages. I don't know about you guys, but I'm really, really sick of the Hollywood virtue signaling. And what is interesting is that I was reading an article in the Daily Mail. I have a subscription, so it's not open to all. And they had Hollywood insiders saying that many people are scared. They feel that it's, the 1940s McCarthyism, and if you are not voicing your support of Palestine, you are basically blackballed, you are blacklisted, and it could affect your career. So much for the Jews controlling Hollywood. Obviously, we are doing a pretty crap job. So, guys, that is a whistle-stop Israel brief before I head on out to the airport. But I missed you guys, and just a reminder to check out our website at www.layoftheland.online. Our YouTube channel is right here at the Israel Brief. We're on Instagram at Rolene_Marks, on Facebook at Lottel's site, and I promise you I will bring you better Israel briefs as I go on my trip. I am so jet lagged, but wanted to check in with you because I miss you. So guys, have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you again tomorrow from a different part of Canada. And just to let you know, on Thursday there won't be an Israel brief because I will be winging my way back to Israel, and we will return to normality, whatever that is, next week. So guys, bye for now. Mwah.